A vector in the plane is a 2 by 1 matrix X, denoted by this one, X, where X and Y are real numbers called the components of X. So we call a vector in a plane as a vector or a 2 vector. So geometrically, the components look like this one. So consider this vector U. There are two components here. So we have the X component and the Y components. So if you're going to change the orientation of the vector, the components look like this one. Okay, kung nandito siya, okay, this one here, the components are this and this vector. Whereas kung nandito ka, right, this one, these are the X and the Y components, right? So if you have something like this, the X component and the Y components are the same. In physical conditions, it is necessary to deal with a directed line segment, PQ, from a point P with coordinates X, Y, so that is this point here, not necessarily to the origin. So unlike this vector, the tail is at the origin. So this one is not at the origin. So it's not necessarily to the origin, to the point Q. Okay, so point Q is has coordinates x, y, x prime, y prime. So this is also called the vector in a plane with tail P and head Q. So ito yung kanyang tail, ito naman yung kanyang head. Alright, so what do you think is the component of this vector? So the answer is x prime minus x and y prime minus y. Okay, so if you're going to project this one to the x-axis, okay, this point here, you'll notice that, so if you're going to project that one here to the x-axis, this one corresponds to this point. Kung ito naman i-project mo doon, that corresponds to this point. And note that the x component is this vector here, from here to this point here. Alright, so, and yung y component naman ay ito. Okay? So if you're going to compute this distance, that is just x prime, no? So the length of that from here to here is x prime, alright, minus x. So tanggalin mo ito siya, ito na lang yung maiwan. Alright, so it's the component. So the y component naman is of course this one. So y from here to here is y, and then from here to this point, y prime ano? So y prime ito, then from here to this point naman is y. So if you're going to cut that one, to cut this, ang maiiwan na lang is y minus y prime, right? Two vectors in the plane are equal if their respective components are equal. So are the following vectors equal? What is the component of the three vectors? For this vector, the components are 1, 2. So 2. For y naman, you have 3. Alright? 3. So 2, 3. For this vector, the x component is 2 units. So 1, 2. The y naman is the length of this one. That is just 5 minus 2. So 3. Okay, so 2, 3. So same lang sila ng component nitong dalawa. And this one, okay, so from here to here, again, from -2 to -1, there are 2 units here. And Ito naman is 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, that is 1, 2, 3, I mean, no? So 3 yung kanyang length dito, okay? So you have 2, 3. So again, the components are 2, 3. Okay? So since the respective components of all of these vectors are equal, therefore these vectors are equal. Let us now consider this example. The head of the vector, so the name of the vector is P sub 4 Q sub 4 with an arrow at the top. Okay, is equal to this matrix with components 2 and 3, and it is equal to this vector P2 Q2 with tail. So the tail of P4, so the tail of this vector is at negative 5, 2 can be determined as follows. Alright, so as you recall, right, so the components of a vector has this formula, okay, x prime minus x and y prime minus x. So to complete that one, you need to compute, no, for the x coordinate. So unahin nyo muna yung x coordinate ng head, alright, minus the x coordinate of the tail. So that will now be the x component of the vector. And for y naman, unahin nyo muna yung y coordinate ng head, then minus the y coordinate of the tail. So in short, that is just y minus y prime. Okay, so going back from here, okay, so to compute for the x coordinate, that is just x prime minus x. Alright, so x prime sub 4 minus x. So that's the, ito, that's, x prime is the x coordinate of this vector. Okay, minus x. X is the x coordinate of the tail. Alright, which is P4. Okay, that corresponds to negative 5. So you have x4 minus x is equal to 2. So equal to this one. That's the component of this vector, the x component. And y prime minus 2 is equal to 3. So that has a similar explanation with this one. So calculating that x prime sub 4, so this is just equal to negative 3, or just 2 minus 5. This y4 is y sub 4 prime is equal to 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. And so now I will let you answer this question as your exercise.